because philosophy arises from all. A philosopher is bound in his way to be a lover of myths and poetic fables. Poets and philosophers are alike in being big with wonder. I would rather feel compassion than know the meaning of it. I would hope to act with compassion without thinking of personal gain. While injustice is the worst of sins, despair is the most dangerous, because when you are in despair you care neither about yourself nor about others. Most men seem to live according to sense rather than reason. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. Fear is such a powerful emotion for humans that when we allow it to take us over, it drives compassion right out of our hearts. How is it they live in such harmony, the billions of stars, when most men can barely go a minute without declaring war in their minds? The human mind may perceive truth only through thinking, as is clear from Augustine. Man has free choice, or otherwise counsels, exhortations, commands, prohibitions, rewards and punishments would be in vain. Faith has to do with things that are not seen, and hope with things that are not in hand. The soul is like an uninhabited world, that comes to life only when God lays his head against us. The study of truth requires a considerable effort, which is why few are willing to undertake it out of love of knowledge, despite the fact that God has implanted a natural appetite for such knowledge in the minds of men. It is necessary for the perfection of human society that there should be men who devote their lives to contemplation. We must love them both, those whose opinions we share and those whose opinions we reject, for both have labored in the search for truth, and both have helped us in finding it. There must be a first mover existing above all, and this we call God. There is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship. 3 things are necessary for the salvation of man: to know what he ought to believe, to know what he ought to desire, and to know what he ought to do. Nothing which implies contradiction falls under the omnipotence of God. Better to illuminate than merely to shine, to deliver to others contemplated truths than merely to contemplate. A song is the exultation of the mind dwelling on eternal things, bursting forth in the voice. For those with faith, no evidence is necessary; for those without it, no evidence will suffice. Mercy without justice is the mother of dissolution. Justice without mercy is cruelty. To one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. To one without faith, no explanation is possible. Obedience unites us so closely to God that it in a way transforms us into Him, so that we have no other will but His. If obedience is lacking, even prayer cannot be pleasing to God. Friendship is the source of the greatest pleasures, and without friends even the most agreeable pursuits become tedious. It is not theft, properly speaking, to take secretly and use another's property in a case of extreme need, because that which he takes for the support of his life becomes his own property by reason of that need. The study of philosophy is not that we may know what men have thought, but what the truth of things is. Sorrow can be alleviated by good sleep, a bath and a glass of wine.